Okay, for those of you who haven't guessed it, once you've got your blocking done for your whole thing, the next part is to go through and do the in-betweens on your animations. And so real quick, I'm just going to show you how that's done. So if you remember when we did our blocking, I have between keys here, like that, I'm going to freeze that. So I have full key set on all the NURBS curves on all my blocking. So if you look at all the red here, each one of these has a full stamp of all the NURB curves involved. We're going to, that will become important because if I were to move this I don't want to lose this pose here when I'm back here changing this pose. So, and if you look at if I click on anything, it has all poses stamped. So make sure before you start doing in-betweens that you've done that. So now I'm going to start small and do the in-between. Like she needs to go from standing to running at frame 30. So I'm going to do a little thing from 1 to 20. I'm going to do a little pose, and I want it to be similar to this. I just wanted to stand still for a second, kind of like an idle. And so I'm going to select all the type. What am I looking for? NURBS curves. I'll switch this to animation, key, set key prompt, and I want this on frame 25. Take it off prompt. So now I have her just sitting there. And then on frame 25, and I can make this smaller so I can see what the heck I'm doing. So around frame 12 or something, I'm going to put a little life into her, right? The moving hold, the she's getting ready. So that's my first frame of the run. So now I have this. I've done the in-between for that. And it's just a stupid in-between. But it puts a little life into it. And then so from here to here, we need to work it out. And I may need to adjust my timing a little bit. Right, because on the first frame of 30, she's in this run pose. So I need to go to this device here, this thing here, and say, okay, on 25 she's standing still, but on 30 she's out that far. So I'm going to adjust this by, I want her foot to look like she's pushing off with the blue foot here. So I need to have that foot on frame 30 kind of be where she was standing, right? So it looks like she's moved. And I can do that by we could create a little box. The famous little box trick. So I need her foot to kind of stay there. Bring her waist down a little bit. Keep her toe behind that box. It's only 5 frames. So I want her, I'm bringing her down here. Actually, I'm going to keep her other foot there too until she gets into the air a little more. So I'm going to copy that box, bring it over here. And then all I have to do on 30 is make sure that she's up a little higher. Yes, 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 pull vector. Remember I was saying how crappy pull vectors are? Great, we got the proper height now. She's getting angle. All I have to do is anchor that foot. And we can even have her, like we can preload this by bending her knees here. Okay, so do that real time and it goes. So the frames we have for the run now. So now that first part's done. So I'm going to hit save on that because I've successfully in-betweened the beginning part of this. I've added just a little bit of fluff as per. I did that when I did my blocking. I added 20 frames of her before she started. You may not have that. You may need to just have her start going. And so I have mine. She doesn't come down until frame 90. So I've got 30. This one should actually, let's make this easy for ourselves. If I do this, I select all by type, nerve curves. I can select this one and put that right on 60. So we've got 30, 60, 90 all stamped on this. So if I split those again, right, 30 to 60 halfway would be 45. Set a key there, and then this would be 75. And so what I need to do is reverse the feet and the hands on these two because she's running. Oh, I didn't have all my keys stamped on 60. That's not good. Okay. So I go select all by type. There's curves. I can delete 60. Take 75 and move it back to 60. Yeah, and then go back to 75. Stamp key there on everything, and then we just need to switch these again. You go there. You go there.
It's funny how a lot of like the air poses, quote unquote, are pretty okay as they are.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Like I'm finding that all of like the poses that I'm doing that are in the air,
Uh-huh.
like the like I don't really need to adjust all of them. The when I initially like set them up, when I initially block them in, they look fine. I could tune them a little bit, but like it's not actually that much, and it's not really in betweening.
That's great. You got lucky. So
Luck has nothing to do with it.
so essentially what I'm doing here is a walk cycle, right? So now I have to come in here and do these landing poses, and she's going to have a really funny, bouncy sort of thing. The other thing I want to do, right, is between 30 and 90. This bottom piece, it has too many keys in it. I don't need these ones in between here, so I can get that and get rid of those, and then those make a smoother run cycle. And I also, like I said, developed a place in my character's animation within the blocking to create a run cycle using numbers. Had this been on like 32 and gone to 98 or something, it would have been really difficult to deal with. Great. So I'm actually going to have to remove that again anyways. So I want to make sure I have so I'm just going to keep it on, and I'll eliminate the animations here in a bit from the mover object. Select. I really have to put this on a button again. Nerve curves. Okay, then I have to hit these halfway points. 36, 52, 66, 82. Let's see which leg would be hitting. Red leg hits. Here. And see, with all your advanced knowledge of run cycles now, you should be able to do this. And remember, you need to have her leg hit straight, and then it can bend. Touche. Boing. Boing.
Every day I listen to it, I am reminded of just how awesome the Duke Nukem soundtrack is, no matter the game.
I think what's his face is making a movie.
Who?
Um, The Rock, Dwayne
Ah.
Johnson, making
Oh,
a.
is he actually making a Duke Nukem movie?
I think he is.
Metal.
Yeah, 2K. I think we did a Duke Nukem game, like Duke Nukem Forever or something. When I first started
Ugh.
working at Duke Nukem, they were working on the last version of it,
Oh God.
or one of the studios was like Fraxis or something was working on it.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, it wasn't great.
Forever. I will never forgive Randy Pitchford ever.
Is that the guy who made it?
That's the guy who purchased the Duke Nukem franchise and managed to single-handedly kill any potential that Duke Nukem Forever had.
It was a pretty bad game.
Seriously, how do you make a character who is supposed to be an unequated badass just a lame sexist?
It was the times.
It was the 2000s.
Yeah, yeah, but all the '80s guys were still running around, and they were in charge of stuff still. It wasn't until like 2003 that they all got fired. Or won't
Yeah.
they weren't allowed after Leisure Suit Larry, right? They weren't allowed to make any more games like that. And the Playboy Mansion game, that was fun. Did you guys ever seen or played the Playboy Mansion game? It's totally notorious. Where
It's horrible.
where you have to go around talking girls into posing for you.
Yes, it was horrible. Ugh,
It was the
never
total
again.
the total Playboy experience.
Yikes. Ugh, horrible.
Just short of being able to give drugs to the girls.
Anyway, I'm glad that's over.
Yeah. Leisure Suit Larry too was pretty bad. Although I think it was really meant to be. But it doesn't make it okay.
Leisure Suit Larry, to an extent, is... While it isn't excusable, it is a parody of itself.
Yeah.
So...
Do, do, do. So many better things to do with people's money and time.
Yeah. Like,
But
actually good Duke Nukem games.
yeah,
Real talk, the expansion for Duke Nukem Forever, the DLC,
uh huh.
was actually good,
Oh, okay.
which sucks.
How many of these do I have to do? 1, 2, 3. That straight leg to the bent leg really sells this happening. Last one. Okay. Now we can go in and select this. And from 30 to 90, get rid of all these in-betweens because they're messing up our timing. I'm just selecting the bottom, the mover object. Doot, doot. Boom. And I can just bring this in. So there's the first footfall. And 90. I want this here. Okay, a few more minutes, guys. Prepare something for me to look at. Remember 11:30, I'm going to take a look at what you have going on. No matter where you are, no matter where you go, there you are.
No matter who you are, we will all have to present. No.
And see, I'm letting my blocking do all the decisions for me. I'm just moving her up and down. Like I've already set my timing with this thing. And I moved that a little bit in the last thing. But
Oh god, the left index finger is broken in IK.
yeah.
Oh god. Ooh. Oh god.
Yeah, it's not.
What did they do to you?
It's not.
What did they? Look how they massacred my girl.
It's not built very well.
Despite the fact that this model is designed for IK.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff. As you know from the rigging class, there's a lot of stuff to consider.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. You know why? Because these things suck. God, I hate pole vectors. That's that one. Doot, doot. Alright, so now this is just my second pass, so I haven't really cleaned anything up. I'm just putting it in betweens. But if I play this, doot, 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 boom, it's really slow. But the motions are there. This goes from 30 to 90, and it should probably be half that amount of time. So what do? We can squish it. And we can do that by selecting, well, there's lots of ways to do it, but we can select all the things we need to. Select by type, nerves curves, and I can go in here and select this run, and if I grab one end of it, I can shrink it. Move that back over. That's better. So Daniel, that's sort of what you're going to have to do. If all your timing is too slow.
Yeah, I know that I'm gonna have to like select all of it, speed it up. But I'll do that eventually.
So good places to do that, right, are when the character's in air. So like, I know that she's going to be in air for this amount of time, right? And I know she's standing here.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, like, that's the other side of my standing pose. So I can take this whole bit here, and then I can just keep squishing it until the timing works for me.
Yeah.
Or speeding it up is really what I'm doing, right?
Question, how do I make an impact bounce?
An impact bounce, what do you mean?
So I'm having her just I'm having her just eat it when she hits the barrels.
Yeah.
I want to like make the impact like realistic. She's like hitting it and then rolling through the rest.
Yeah.
How do I like make a bounce considering there are objects? Like basically, how do physics work?
Well, you've come to the right place because I animate physics pretty well.
Awesome.
So,
let me just go here. I understand the rolling. It will be a bit rough. I have never done that before. My first ever roll. So she goes in for that. Roll, hit.
Oh, nice.
So I want her to impact. How do I properly, like... is she like supposed to bounce while she's rolling, or?
So the framing on impact and stuff is always kind of similar. If you look at my keys here,
Mm-hmm.
so if I come up here, I have one. I'll go to my first frame, which is 512, and then my next frame, right, is 2 frames later. So that denotes whenever you want something to look like it was just friggin' blasted, it's 2 frames. So move it within 2 frames, move it way the heck out. Then I go into these this arc of it spinning, and those are 10 frames between.
So my thing is, it's not the barrels that I want. I want her to like. I want like it to look like that hurt.
Oh, okay. So that is all reversal of angle. So on the frame that she hits, and I don't have it done here yet,
Okay.
you would have her, however her body is, right? You would have it like go. Oh, so on yours, all right. So go. This isn't going to make sense in the video if I'm not showing yours. All right. So in yours, that would be the frame when she hits. So go to 1 or 2 frames. Go to like 2 frames before that. Now elevate, arc her body so that it's arced. Her legs are up in the air, her arms are up in the air, and her head's up in the air. Because what makes it look like impact is a reversal of angle. So she goes, with everything up in the air on one frame, and then everything flattened out on the next frame. It looks like she's splatted. And then
Okay, got it. So
after she's splatted, then you can bounce her up in the air again. So it looks like she's impacted it.
all right. So impact.
Do her head.
Bam.
Do her head too.
Oh, head as well. Head. Right. Gotcha.
There you go. And then go forward. Boom.
Okay. So, bam.
Okay, so
Hold
go.
on a sec. See how that looks. Let's see how that looks. I have that like little weird bounce there that I probably need to fix. Hold on. I'm gonna get rid of that little attempted bounce there.
No, you can leave that in. That's actually what would happen.
Oh,
So she would.
it seems it's the timing is weird. So I'm gonna redo the timing eventually
Okay.
anyway. So, okay, so, bam, flattened out.
How many frames from when she's up above to when she hits?
Oh, let's see. This is 164 to 195.
So that's way too many frames. You need to. She would only fall at.
Keep in mind this is slow. I'm just again slow motion.
Right. Okay. So yeah.
30 frames. So you would say 15 frames?
Or 10 frames. It's probably about 10 frames, and then she hits, flattens out, and then when she bounces, her body reverses the arc the other way. So her body comes off the ground, but her arms and legs stay on the ground.
Okay, gotcha.
And then since you have this roll thing,
Okay.
that's the pole vector thing. The blue thing down below is making.
Yeah, I know. I see
Yeah.
it. I'm just kind of fiddling around with the legs, making the bend look realistic.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah, this one needs to be this pole vector needs to be adjusted. There we go.
And you just paint her. Yeah, they would go down on the ground. Because if you think about what happens, like when you fall, right, you hit and then you kind of bounce up a little bit, and then you try and recover, but your body is just rolling on the ground. Like after the initial impact, then it's the momentum dies, and you would do that in blocking, right? So you would have your mover object hit, and then over like 30 frames, it would come to a stop. It starts off fast and then it ends really, really slow.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, bam. Okay. So, I feel like it changes in the air a bit more.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you mess with it.
This looks actually better. This looks better. Okay. I can work with this. All right.
And then you should, before you get too far into things, you should probably adjust your timing.
Yeah. I'll adjust my timing before. Yeah. Oh, as I'm going. All right. Thank you.
Sure. All right, so back to my video. So
Hey,
that's
this was important.
it is. Back to my video. So that's how I want you guys to do your in-betweening. It's just like I've done here. Start in, you have all your frames pasted, so you have stamps of where things should be. Just go in now and try and make all the timing and stuff look good. Boom. And it might require you to do to adjust a whole block of timing. Like she's not. I might have to increase the size of this, right? Because she's not moving far enough for the amount of steps that she takes. And that's fine to do too. If you, I probably should just have her do fewer steps. But now I can move this back, and then if I go to the next key, I can move that back. And that's the first key of the run, so it's somewhere there. That's a little better. I need to fix something on the jump, but you guys get the idea. That's how you would do this. Go in now. Once you get your blocking done, you go start getting into the nitty-gritty of making things work perfectly, but your timing won't change that much. This needs to be from here to here. It needs to be faster. Anyways, there you go. That's how to do the next stage your stuff. And I'll save this so you guys can see.